All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Last Sip Society. I'm here with my man Don today.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about some mezcal, we're going to be talking about hospitality, and we're going to be understanding his journey and what he does. So, Don, I just want you to introduce yourself first, and we're going to get started, okay?
What's up, guys? My name is Donovan Morgan, aka Roofs by Don. I'm the owner of the Roof Gallery and founder of the Roof Museum as well. And you gotta tell all your kids that we made it raise the roof.
Right, that's right, raise the roof, right? So let me ask you, what made you get into roofing, right? How'd that journey start?
No, that's a great question. Roofing actually found me.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Did you fall off a roof?
No, that's not gonna happen. But as far as roofing, really it's me coming from Florida. I owned my own business, doing my entrepreneur thing, but it was in the moving industry. And I was essentially like a broker.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we do the... we're on the phone on the sales.
Right.
So I'm in Florida. I'm like, yeah, we're in New Jersey. We're local to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I would book the actual move, then I would have movers that's in New Jersey that would actually do the actual job.
Okay.
So I was doing that. I transitioned to in Atlanta, trying to find a different career path, because with the moving, the quality of life isn't good. Like the price always changes. So no matter what, if I'm trying to do a good job for the homeowner, she'd always be upset at the end because the price changed, you know.
Right.
So at the end, I try to find something different, have a better quality of life. So if I do a good job, I get rewarded for it.
Right.
And I landed into AT&T.
Right.
Doing door to door, they tricked me kind of. It was like sales and marketing, make over 100,000.
Oh man, when I was younger, I got schemed out of that so many times. It's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be this. You're gonna make so much money, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like another pyramid scheme.
Exactly, you know. But at the end of the day, I did pretty good. My first week, I broke a record at that office. I got 14 sales. And I ended up running into a roofing owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into a roofing owner. I was in a neighborhood. I was my second day there. I was on my 8th sale. And he was my 8th sale. And he was like, look, for doing what you're doing right now, knock on the doors, you can do the same exact thing, but for roofing. And it's a higher ticket item.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm the top salesperson where I'm at. I'm good. And then eventually they messed up my paycheck. It was the second time they messed it up. And
don't mess with the money, right?
Yeah, right. So then I had to quit. I left. And while I was looking for another job, I was looking for insurance.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna do health insurance maybe. I don't know what, I was looking at different things.
Right.
Trying to make over 100,000, and the roofing company just called me again, and it was the third time that they called me, and I was like, you know what? If you give me $1,350, that's what AT&T owed me.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even owe me that really.
Right.
Anymore. I was like, that's what they owe me. If you give me that, I'll come in. He was like, no problem.
Right.
I'm like, oh shoot, hey, no problem. Let me come in. Let me come in. I needed it too at that moment, you know. So I was like, hey, let me come in, and I went in, and that's how roofing started. So that's why I say roofing really found me, because he brought the opportunity to me. I turned it down.
Right.
They called me 3 more times, so they kept hounding
saw
me
your
kind of.
potential, right?
Yeah, and it worked. Thank goodness they did that, because I started the process, and my first company I worked with, I brought them from $1.2 million in their first year. And I brought them to 10.4 million.
Oh wow!
In the first year, yeah, and then we started going from there. So
okay, look at you, Mr. Nail.
Yeah, you gotta get it in.
So I heard you're good at everything, right? And I
try to be.
I heard that you were also quite an athlete. So before we get into that little story, we're gonna sip on some mezcal, all right?
All right, let's do it.
I'll make sure I get a little toasty before we get any athletic events started.
Let's do it.
So today what we have is this is a Mezcal Vago. Mezcal Vago is a pretty prominent brand in the U.S.
Okay.
It has a great story behind it. Starts off with a surfer who goes down to Mexico, falls in love with the lady, ends up in a cockfight, finds literally ends up fighting a guy over his love.
Yeah.
And, ends up him finding going back home to where she's lived and meeting the father, understanding mezcal, and falling in love with the brand and starting this wonderful brand that we have here now. But this one right here is Mezcal Vago. It's an elote. So it's going to be distilled with roasted corn in the second distillation. And this one's a little bit high proof, so it's 50%. But it's meant to be celebratory, and I think this is a celebratory moment.
It is.
We're going to enjoy some mezcal, and I'm here with the roof man, right?
Hey, let's go. Roof man.
So, I really like this mezcal because the father of the producer of this, he was one of my favorite producers of all time. Aquino Garcia, he ended up passing away right during the COVID era.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously he left a great generation of mezcaleros to follow him. His sons make the Mexicano and they make his Espadín. Obviously, they do the elote, and they are continuing on as the next generation of Mezclador Maestro. So
You said he was the best producer.
he was one of my favorites, specifically out of this region.
Yeah.
He did like the quiche and madre quiches that were just phenomenal. Like some of the best mezcals I ever tasted were made and produced by him. Right.
So he's like the Dr. Dre of mezcal.
Yeah, like
Gotcha.
he's laid down the foundation, right? So
Okay.
especially in this area, they do an amazing job. So I definitely want to start off with something nice and neat, and dish back.
So what's the proper way of doing it? Do I gotta smell it first? How do you gotta do it?
Okay, so I always love to smell it first, right? Get the aroma. You may get like the hints of the roasted corn on there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this one. Nice, pleasant aroma
Nice.
on there, right? You don't really get that pungent alcohol forwardness in the nose, especially like when you got a good maestro who does good mezcal. It's not like it's not like an alcohol bomb, right? Or a smoke bomb in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna notice the smoothness, and I'm gonna let you taste it, and then you're gonna tell me what you think.
Yeah, sounds good. Real good. Real smooth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you took it like a shot.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I'm sorry. Okay.
you gotta let me
You're
know.
right. That's
He's a
my fault.
professional.
That's my fault.
This is the mezcal man. I'm a roofer. I'm gonna take it.
Right. So normally you like take a little sip first.
Gotcha.
And then
Gotcha.
let it breathe a little bit in your mouth, and
Okay.
then take another sip, and you kind of see. So
There we go.
Give you a little bit more.
Let's try this again. Hey, I can't go on the roof today. Listen.
Right. Yeah. No. On Thursdays, you're not calling the roof man.
I'm with the mezcal man on Thursdays.
All right, perfect. So sorry, let's try again. So the first sip, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, with the high acid in mezcal, usually your palate kind of gets washes first,
Okay.
right? So you aren't able to really pull out all the flavors in your palate at first. Now that you're having the second sip and your taste buds are kind of settling in with the acid that was in your mouth,
Mhm.
you'll be able to taste more of the nuance of the actual mezcal and the agave.
All right, let's do this again. I'm gonna sip this time.
You notice the difference in the second sip?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain how you explain it.
Uh-huh.
It's like you're on point with it.
Okay, let's
I definitely taste different flavors.
Mm-hmm. So this is the way I try to get people to understand like the flavor profile.
Mhm.
Where
Different flavors.
Mm-hmm. So this is the way I try to get people to understand like the flavor profile.
Mhm.
Where is the sensation in your mouth, right?
Okay. Weird.
Like is
Back
it
of my
like
tongue?
back of your tongue? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel any heat anywhere in your mouth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it? Do you? So for this one specifically, since it's Espadín, I always feel like that warmth sensation down the back of your throat, your chest.
Yep.
Like you said with the tongue, you kind of like, at least when I'm tasting this one, I do kind of taste that sweetness that's still staying and lingering
Yeah,
there.
lingers. Yep.
Right?
Mhm.
You don't feel on your lips, you don't feel on your cheeks, you don't feel like on your roof of your mouth or the bottom of your mouth,
Tongue.
right? Yeah, so I think the tongue has to do with like that sweetness that you're getting from the corn,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And when it comes to smoky, how do you think? Where would you rate it?
Oh yeah, no, it's smoky. From a 1 to 10 kind of thing. When you say rating,
Like 10 would be like tire fire.
I got you.
Right? 1 would be like, I guess like I mean, I'll say like a 5 is probably like a barbecue smoke, like you
Okay.
get the iron lung, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then 1 would probably be like something you're cooking at the house.
So not 1. 6.
6, okay. So
Yeah.
a little bit more over the barbecue roast.
Yeah, the barbecue. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay, so
Yeah.
a little bit more over the barbecue roast.
Yeah, the barbecue. Yeah, that's how I feel. The barbecue grill.
Yeah, see, like that. I guess when it comes from me and mess, especially during the summertime, like 4th of July is coming around. You're
Yup,
gonna have
yup.
some hot dogs, some chicken, some barbecue.
The roofer
right.
block party.
Right. Roofer block party. All right,
Yeah.
tell me more about that. When is the block
Yeah,
party?
so we got the roofer block party. That's actually July 19th.
Okay.
We have Lego's gonna be out there, so we partnered with Lego.
Okay.
We partnered with the Home Depot Kids Workshop, and
Alright.
we got some other people that's gonna be partnered with it. So we usually have the bounce houses. The kids come out. They get to learn about construction, have some fun, and then for this year we're also gonna have some a lot of different education for kids, but then for like young adults as well.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
So this is what's gonna happen. The kids are gonna go have fun at the bounce house.
Yep.
And the adults gonna have some.
Yes. There we go. Yes, you are exactly.
So you got a sponsorship with Lego as well, right? That's
Yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
it's a partnership. That one is it's something that's new. So it's starting with the event,
Uh-huh.
and then we're gonna keep building. You know, master
Okay.
builders.
Okay, so that's the master builders on the roof as well. So you're
Exactly.
like doing everything over here. This is
We
so
got to.
impressive. Right, it's good to see like obviously individuals in Atlanta who are doing things for the community,
Mhm.
but also like setting the trends. Right, like for example,
That's what
like,
we do.
yeah, like what you're doing is like I don't see people who are out there like when we met
Mhm.
specifically. We met at an ABC like an Atlanta Black Chapter event,
Mhm.
and it was just like to see other people who are influential, but also who are like, how can I support the community? How can I do things that help other people who are trying to be unique in their field, right?
Yeah, I look at it. It's just a personal thing. I always like when you go to like the events and networking and even just being in Atlanta, because Atlanta's like the black mecca, right? It's like
Mhm.
Black Hollywood,
Mhm.
The old way of thinking is like people they like black people are crabs in a barrel, or they don't help each other out,
Right. I agree. with you on that.
So I feel like we're in a new age right now, a new culture, and at the end of the day, that's like what our parents used to say, our grandparents,
Mhm.
and us here now, we don't have to do that. So,
Right.
hey, I see that you're doing something cool. You the mezcal man.
Right.
I didn't even like mezcal until I started,
You're drinking it.
Yeah, and you let me know that it's actually there's differences, there's different levels to it,
Mhm.
And I'm just how you said, like I'm Rufus, you're the mezcal man, you know,
Right.
and sometimes we just need to help each other out.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
agree with
that's
that.
it.
Yeah, because it's like what I've noticed, like Atlanta, for all y'all who don't know, Atlanta has the slogan, "We're a city too busy to hate," right?
Yeah.
And it was it is that city where it's like we're such a melting pot that it's like we're all trying to achieve greatness together.
Correct.
And Atlanta has the most black millionaires in the entire U.S. Right,
Mhm.
are located in Atlanta. So we are like this hub of like innovation and creativity.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you this quick story. So I was out in Eastern Europe,
Mhm.
visiting out and seeing some bars and checking out some spaces, and they had this lounge and bar called Atlanta. And
Really?
they were doing like section style and
Hookahs?
the hookahs, and they had the signs and everything. And I'm
In
like,
London?
yeah, no, this was out in Eastern Europe, right?
Oh, Europe, okay,
Yeah, Eastern Europe. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was actually in Baku, no, Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, what are they doing having this style club, like lounge in this area? And like the guy who I was with, he was like, yo, man, like, because he plays basketball out there.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, man, like when I saw this bar, I was just like, yo, it made me feel like I was back at home.
Like you're home.
Right, and he was
Yeah.
just like, apparently the owner had spent some time in Atlanta, fell in love with like the club and bar scene. He's like, yo, I could do this back in Eastern Europe. And he came out there and it's
He
like,
did
oh
it.
my gosh, like he did it. And it's like, for the people, it's like stepping into something that they've never experienced. Right?
Yeah.
The club sectional aspect, plus the signs with people's names on, and the sparklers and the bottle service, right? Like, and think about it. Atlanta kind of made that popular.
No,
right?
100%. I feel like that is what we're good at as
Mhm.
far as making things fun, adding to the culture. I guess we just paying attention to details, so things that might just be like, what are we doing that for? Why are you adding an extra?
Mhm.
We're focused on that. We're like, no, it has to be perfect. You
Right.
know? And so I feel like that's what we really elevate whatever we get into.
Mhm. Yeah,
so,
like the saying, Atlanta influences everything, right?
Yep.
I feel the same
exactly.
thing about mezcal. Mezcal influences everything, right? Like,
Okay.
we're pushing the
Why-
boundary.
why- you are pushing the boundary, but why you say influence everything? So mezcal is a liquor, but how would it influence vodka?
All right, so think about vodka. Vodka is just a neutral grain spirit, right?
Mhm.
It's not supposed to have any flavor. But
Okay,
now
yeah.
we have this new tequila. Well, not tequila. It's a vodka made out of Blue Weber agave.
Mm.
It's called Blue Weber.
Mhm.
So now you have Blue Weber vodka, and it still has the hint of actual like agave spirit in the vodka.
Got you.
And so now you're looking at like, okay, mezcal set this trend, like tequila is mezcal the same way, right?
Mhm.
And they're setting this trend. Now they're moving into the vodka industry. I've also seen mezcal gins out there that are really good that are using juniper and using these flavors. And so like they're taking because mezcal's kind of come in later into the light of things,
Mhm.
they're taking all the innovative techniques that they've seen other industries do, and then they're applying it and amplifying it, right?
Mhm.
Like even like the simple fact that these bottles have QR codes on them.
Yeah.
So if you scan the QR code, it's going to tell you exactly where it was distilled. It's going to give you a little bit of information about it. And like other liquor bottles, you're not going to have that.
Correct.
So it's like in 5 years, I'm sure other bottles are going to have QR codes that are maybe have the history of cognac, or maybe have the history of Douce, or maybe have the history of whatever spirit is coming out,
Mhm.
and then show where it's produced, and then now you're like tying a space, place, and people to the things that you're actually drinking.
It's like telling a story.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
like I mean, and I think that's kind of what mezcal was starting to like promote across the board, right?
Mhm.
Even though it's not well known across the world, the cool thing about it is it's doing things that are going to change the industry as a whole, just because they're so late into the game, right?
Yeah.
And they're just being innovative. They're like, oh, well, the QR codes. Why don't we use QR codes? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Like, how can we be great with limited resources? Because they don't have the money that big brand tequila, gin, and vodka have, or whiskey.
Mhm.
And so they have to find a way to step into the industry without like disrupting too much, but also making themselves be seen.
So question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the average person, for the average roofer that's watching
Right,
this, you know,
right.
usually we're just gonna down it, right?
Right.
You've seen it, right?
Right.
So mezcal comes from agave, just like tequila.
Right.
So what is the real difference if you're just explaining to like a
Average
regular
person.
person? Yeah.
So like I there's two examples I like to use. Like mezcal is like, how do you like your steak, right? If
okay.
you take your steak and you put it on the grill, that's mezcal. If you take your steak and you put it in the oven, that's tequila, right? So
Okay.
that's a
Okay,
simple
okay.
aspect, right?
Yep, yep.
And so like it,
So
it
tequila's
does
fast food?
well
you trying to
tequila
say?
no
Like-
tequila's steamed, right?
Steamed.
Yeah,
okay.
so like if I put it in the oven, it's steamed
Makes
from the
sense.
heat, right?
Yeah,
Versus
yeah.
like putting it on the grill and having that slight charry, smoky aspect, right?
Got it.
And I'm like, and the thing that I noticed, like, as a black man stepping into the agave world, like, we love the barbecue, right? And so, like, when I hear people talk about it's too smoky, I'm like, oh man, I know you had barbecue chicken. I know you had some brisket or iron lung.
I know you used to getting it well done.
Right. So it's like, you know, like having those slight charred characteristics is something that I've known at least all my life growing up, from like barbecues when I was a little kid in the backyard.
You're right about that, yeah.
Right. So I think that like people are starting to understand like mezcal's a community sipper, right? Because imagine if we're at the barbecue on 4th of July and I bring a bottle and it's me, you, and 3-4 other guys, and we're just sipping on mezcal, talking about life, talking about family, all the things that are going on. Like, we can enjoy our buzz,
Mhm.
but without getting overly drunk, right?
And that's what helps with too. You don't get as drunk with
Yeah,
with
because
mezcal.
since it's made from agave, there's really 4 ingredients in mezcal. You have the water, you have the agave, you have the heat that takes to cook it, and then obviously the hands of the maestro who puts it in there, right?
Okay.
So it is known as to be a metabolite. A metabolite means like it breaks down easily in your system.
Like metabolism.
And, yeah, it's a metabolism, right?
Yeah.
So like and because obviously there's sugar as well. So it's like me. I have stories where I've drank a whole bottle of mezcal in a night with people, and the next day I was up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock working and doing
Functioning.
something. Yeah. So
Okay.
you know that's one of the reasons why my mom loves mezcal.
So for roofers, basically what you're saying is we can drink this at nighttime and then wake up in the morning
And then be able to work.
and go to work.
You won't have that overly hangover. Like, I mean,
Gotcha.
obviously, if you kill 2 of these, maybe.
Stick to one. Stick to
But
one.
yeah, like if you're having this with friends and family, right? You'll notice like the you don't have this like long lasting drunk where you're like, oh my gosh, I really need food, I need water, I need to get sober up.
Mhm.
Like it does slowly. It breaks down faster than other spirits because there's no like unnatural ingredients that are added into it, right?
Understood.
Like you take the agave, you chop it up, you roast it, you add some water, take all that water, you let it ferment for a couple days, and then you distill it, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. So it's like, you know, like versus like other people have to add foreign yeast to be able to get the distillation process, or other people have to add additional ingredients as well,
Mhm.
or they're distilling stuff like, let's just say, just imagine this is not natural corn and say it's GMO corn, and they're
Gotcha.
taking the GMO corn to make vodka or whiskey with, right?
Got it.
Those things we know aren't necessarily the best thing, and I'm not saying any brand does this, but I'm just using it as an example, right?
Understood.
And so, you know, you're just using the natural ingredients and being able to make the natural spirit with it, right? And, you know, like, they have this thing called pulque. Pulque is like, there's a century plant, an agave,
Mhm.
where if you, like, dig a hole in it, it'll fill up with, like, sap. And then a couple days it'll start to ferment and it'll bubble. And it's almost like the champagne of tequila. Like, it's very
Gotcha.
frothy, it's very effervescent. And you can really just take a cup, pull it in there, and sip it
Drink.
like it is, yeah. And it's low ABV, but it's, like, still, like, a natural occurring thing that you can do, right?
That's actually cool. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so okay, so I heard you're a track guy, right?
I'm a little fast. Okay,
Right. He said one day he was gonna be able to beat me in a race. So
Hey, not one day. Just let me know when you're ready.
you know,
Let me know-
he's Jordan, so I got running shoes.
Let me know when you're ready.
But like, tell me like your athletic prowess. Tell me about like kind of history that you did prior to like roofing. Like what sports did you do? What kind of things did you do? I mean, you know, Florida boys are known to be fast, but I heard you're not from Florida.
Well, I'm actually Jamaican, so that's even faster. So that's it. So you already know. I was born in New York, though. I lived in Florida most of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, from like 9 years old to 29. You know,
Okay.
so I'm a Florida boy. I'm at heart, and yeah, I ran track like high school, all that. Went to states.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was
so
your event?
400.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, that's mine too.
I know I'm a dust you. Not joking.
It's okay. Listen, I still run, so when that monkey hits you back,
Oh, yeah?
you come around
Okay.
that curb.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, nah, I need a quick practice real quick. Nah, but yeah, track. I could play any sport, you know.
Do you still follow it? Like track?
Not as much, not heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Cause with track is kind of like, with track, it's usually like the one person, and that's the superstar.
Right.
Like everybody
Usain
else.
Bolt, Tristan.
Yeah, if you're nobody knows who number 3 is or 4.
Right.
You might know.
I don't know. This last Olympics or last category, we've had so many good sprinters
That's fact.
that it's like, obviously we know who Noah Lyles is.
Yep.
But also we got Kung Fu Kenny, right? So he's in there as well. And then you have like Eric Bernard. I'm sorry, Eric Bernard is. Yeah. So it's like.
But everybody's not gonna know who those people are.
Yeah, you got a point there.
So you know who people are, but everybody's not really gonna know, especially like in track. If it's like basketball, there's a bunch of different people, you know. But like when it's like track, like those kind of sports, is like really like one main person, and then usually like everybody else, for the most part, people don't really know, like the average Joe.
Yeah, that makes sense because everybody knows who Usain Bolt is. But,
Yeah, both exactly.
but they may not be able to identify a Christian Coleman. They may not be able to identify some of the other.
If you ask anybody, like just a random person right now, they're not gonna know who those people are.
Right, they'll know Bolt.
They'll know both,
That's it.
and that's it.
Well, I think like with other sports, there's like a team aspect as well,
Facts.
right? Like,
Yes.
oh, this is Atlanta, so I'm repping my team, right?
Correct.
Versus like track, it's like that individual aspect.
Mhm.
It'd be one thing if they had like track clubs around this nation, where it's just like, oh yeah, we like you remember how state was done when you were in high school?
Yeah.
It was a team win, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you had the individual awards, but like the team won it. So
I think also too, like it needs to show the levels. So like we're only watching the Olympics, so it's like a regular person just watching the Super Bowl.
right,
You're only gonna know that team now,
right.
But if you watch the season, you saw the playoffs, then like you're more involved. So I feel like their other meets needs to be more highlighted for you to actually follow the story.
Okay.
To know more people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, from a fellow 400 runner,
Yeah.
what other events did your coach put you in?
But you put me in.
Yeah, because he was
Put
just
me in
like
the 800. You should try to put me in the longer
Events, right.
longer events. That way, I guess I gain endurance.
Uh-huh.
So then when I do the 400, it's like easy.
right.
Yeah. So I usually get like the 800
Did you do
or
any
the
jumps?
I did high jump.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I was actually pretty nice
Got
at high
some
jump too.
buddies, huh?
Yeah, I was pretty nice at high jump too. And
Okay.
it's funny too because with high jump, especially when you start going like regional stuff, I didn't go states with high jump. I went to regionals though, and everybody starts being I'm 5'8". So everybody starts getting super tall, like I'm like who am I going against? But I'm jumping, I'm doing it,
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Alright, yeah. So it's crazy. So you were in Florida, you're in Georgia, Jamaican. You got speed in your blood, right? So in the places that you lived, where have you? And obviously, Florida's probably home.
Mhm.
But how would you compare it with like living in Georgia?
I feel like, alright, so Florida is like, gangsters don't die, they move to Miami.
Okay, really?
Right? So like, Florida is it's home, but it's also like if you're trying to like build like family life, all that good stuff. The ending of like retiring, when you're good already, you got the money, you got everything, you're good already. Then you go to Florida, because down there everything's already prepared, is set up for people that's already good.
So it's not the grind. Like if you're trying to establish, it's not
Nah. You're good. They're good already. So you try to grind, you lost.
Okay.
You get me?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you come to Atlanta. Atlanta's good for what? The grind.
Yeah.
You get out here, you do it, you kill it, and after you kill it, you get a beachfront house in Miami.
Right. Okay.
You get
See,
me?
for all those people watching, understand this. Atlanta, come here, make your money, get good.
Yes.
Spend 5 to 10 years here.
And where you
stack
vacation
bread.
at?
Yeah. And
Miami,
then come back in Miami. Yeah.
you know.
Or wherever else is home for you that you would want to be. Right.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah, so that's why I really feel with Atlanta. Like it's again, it's a good place to build, and you have more like-minded people, and that's really it. And if you're a grinder, not yet, and that's really it. And if you're a grinder, now you have people that's like you. Look,
Right.
we're doing this.
We're doing it, right.
Your men that's like you. Look,
Right.
we're doing
Right,
this.
we're doing it, right.
Your mezcal man, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, like mezcal, that's usually Spanish people.
Right.
I'm just saying, right?
No, you're right.
But then you come in and you make it a thing, and you're the mezcal man,
Right.
Because you make it interesting, and I didn't even how you mentioned like the latte corn,
Right.
Like, you make it cool, but like at the end of the day, like you're making it real more like way more interesting, engaging, and now it's like okay, this I gotta drink mezcal at the cookout.
Right.
Now I know where to drink it at.
Right.
With the barbecue, like, is the same thing. You know?
Right.
But before I didn't correlate like that.
Right.
Outside, I just spoke with you.
Right. Okay.
So I feel like again, it's just this Atlanta is just kind of feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. It
Okay.
feels right.
That makes sense.
That makes sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because, like, when I started in Mezcal, right, there
Mhm.
weren't really many black people in Mezcal. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
right?
Anybody?
It was, like, I even had this conversation. So I was in.
Is there
Oaxaca.
anybody black?
I mean, there's a few like people here
Okay.
and there, right?
Cool.
But like when I first started, I was in Oaxaca one time, and I was at a birthday party for a pretty influential person who was celebrating at their bar.
Mm-hmm.
And their bar was a pretty well-known bar. It was like a top 50 bar in the world. And I sat down and I was having this conversation, and I literally just got back from going to a Palenque. I was in San Juan. I was doing these other tours. I was doing all this stuff. So I wasn't like dressed for a birthday, but like the host asked me to come. They're like, yo, you need to come. You need to meet these people. Like, I really want you to be here. So I'm there, and I'm sitting down. I'm having a conversation with another lady. And I was just like, well, if you ever need anything in Atlanta, or if you need any promotion or mezcal advice, like, let me know. And she looked at me, she was like, no offense, like, your Spanish is okay, but, like, right, like, what can you do for me?
So your Spanish, I see.
Right. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize, like, when she said that, I was like, wow, it's crazy, because, like, black people in the U.S. influence the market, right? We're the purchasing power, right? And it's brands that have promoted to black individuals recently, like the Casamigos, the Don Julios, those are the ones who've been outselling everybody else because they have not forgot about the culture or the community. And like I looked at her, I was like, well, you know, her response showed me what was missing in Agave, because you come into the U.S. and you talk to all the Spanish and Latin American people. You may talk to some of the white American people as well, but then you have that lonely black guy who's in the corner who feels like you're not trying to connect with him. Or you have that lonely black woman who's there who's interested in mezcal, but you're not connecting with them. And I'm like, yo, like the fact that I can bring a barbecue, right? You know, that's something that I know is culturally across the board. Like, I know that black men have been going to barbecues all their life. How many movies have you seen that have
You're invited to the cookout.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
right? So it was like, I saw that and I was just like, well, you know, that's kind of where you're missing in your brand representation.
You do a commercial like you're invited to the cookout. Is that
You know, hey, Mezcal Vago, if you want me to do a commercial where you're invited to the cookout, I got you, right?
creative director.
Right, we'll do it for the roof gallery, right?
Hey.
Get a nice little soft sponsorship, right? Hey, take notes, right? But yeah, like, those are the things that's like I've noticed, and you know, obviously I love Agave Spirits. I've spent enough time in Oaxaca, living there. It's just like meeting with the community and the people, and like building the connections with the people that I know. And it's just like, yo, like, I'm really for them, right? At the end of the day, like, people, it's not about me, the mezcal man. It's about the mezcal, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm just really presenting the product. And the more people I get to fall in love with it, that's just great for the category as a whole, right?
Facts.
You know, because, you know, it's never gonna be big brand tequila where you're just gonna be produce, because some of these agaves are rare and not take longer to grow, right? Versus like the tequila is one plant across the board, so you just fill the entire valley and the entire mountains with the same plant. Versus like mezcal, you got Tobalá, Quiché, Tepextate, Espadín, right? And so like these other varietals are delicious and coveted as well. So you can't just like overpopulate the entire mountain with one, because somebody's gonna be like, nah, I really like Tepextate. Like, what's going on with that? So that's kind of what I enjoy about it, right? So it's cool, and I like the journey, right?
I love it.
Yeah. Like,
are we gonna be making what is called an espresso? We're gonna make it.
So we're gonna do an espresso martini today.
Okay.
It's gonna have some mezcal. It will be off live. We'll shoot the video later and I'll post it on social media.
Nice.
But I'm gonna show you how like those flavors of agave play very well with coffee. Right? The saying is, if it grows together, it goes together.
I love it.
Right? Coffee, agave, grow in the same.
It grows together.
Right? So it's like you got to look at those things, and those notes kind of play well. Plus, obviously, the corn and the agave as well. And it's just a great experience, right? So, future of the roof gallery, right?
Yep.
Future of what you want to do. I mean, you've obviously got this roof museum. What's next?
What's next is just being fully a part of culture. So, having our own drink, the same.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Having our own espresso martini with the mezcal espresso martini.
Okay.
Called On the House.
Okay. Hey, look,
Like
this man is a marketing guru right here. Send this man a contract.
Yeah, and then you get the recipe. You go to the Roof Museum, .org.
Right.
Links to your site too. That's
right.
it, right?
Hold on. Look,
we gotta get them right.
Two hosts, hold on. I'm gonna have to decline y'all for a second there. We'll chat later, but
we gonna chat with y'all soon. No, but yeah, and really just I want to impact roofing in a good way. So I feel like once I got into the industry, I'm real competitive. So like sports and everything. So
right.
I feel like roofing is a sport, and that's why I made the Roof Museum, because when you're the best of the best, you're usually in a Hall of Fame or something like that, right?
Right.
So and like with basketball, you're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. You're in music, you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, So when I started looking at roofing, I wanted to find who the best of the best was, and didn't have one. So
tell me, who's the best of roofing? Like, tell me about it.
So now we got a Roofing Hall of Fame, So I love to say myself, but I'm not inducted yet. I can't induct myself.
Right.
So we got TJ McCormick, that's the world's greatest roofer. That's his social media handles.
Okay, the world's greatest roofer?
The world's greatest roofer. Okay. He has like millions of followers.
For roofing?
Oh yeah, no. Millions of followers.
Wow, okay.
He's getting paid off roofing, like the social media alone, just off of that, and then roofing as well. The best damn roofer. His name is big time Joshua Bigger. He's based out of Canada.
Okay.
He's real big in roofing too, and he has his own tools.
Okay.
Line tools. He also does music. He signed his guitar.
Big time, right? Big time.
We got John Scenic, John the Roof Pro. He specializes in discontinued shingles.
Okay.
So he made like discontinued shingles popular in roofing culture.
Okay.
Just how you made mezcal popular in alcohol culture per se, He specializes in discontinued shingles. Who else? We got Becca Switzer. She has roofing sales mastery, so she's real good at recruiting and as far as supplements, like teaching classes.
Have you had them on a podcast? Or
of course. So they all come in, they get awarded, they get awards.
Okay.
And they're in our museum room, or they're on the Hall of Fame, so they're on like, they actually have their own jersey.
So listen, if you're in Atlanta, come to Marietta, right?
Yep, you gotta
look up the Roof Museum.
Yes.
Come check it out. See exactly what he's doing over here, right?
It's the first roof museum. It's the first roof museum in the world. It's an interactive experience, so you don't know what to expect, but just expect greatness. You're gonna come in. We're gonna touch all 5 senses. You come in sparkling water or still. You might get mezcal if you're good,
Right.
and we go from there.
Okay, that's cool. Like, I didn't realize that there was so much involved in roofing and how many people like really were following that aspect, right?
I mean, roofing, like, so not that many people were following it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's when I came into the industry a little bit as far as like the roofing influencers kind of. So we did kind of like add that to it. I have a nice like a deal with ICO, which is one of the shingle manufacturers.
Okay.
So, like LeBron James have a Nike.
Okay.
I have like a deal with the shingle manufacturer called ICO. So not a lot of roofers have that. I believe I'm like the first in like North America. And I feel like just adding like the culture, making it where roofing is fun.
Okay.
Because when you look at like think about kids, they're like, I want to be a police officer.
Right.
I want to be a firefighter.
Right.
Right? And no one ever says they want to be a roofer. You know? So that's what we're trying to make the change of, where we're showing that roofing could be cool. You don't have to be like the old guy, dirty construction boots.
Right.
You could be cool. You could make music. You can look like anybody or everybody in the world. Be cool. You could make music. You can look like anybody or everybody in the world.
Right.
Be yourself, and you can still be a roofer. You know?
Right.
Isn't
Yeah, you kind of like when I first met you, you weren't like you had this laissez-faire like chill vibe about you, and when I didn't realize you were in roofing until you told me, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like the fact that you're doing all these different things, and when you were telling me about the roofing museum, I was like, oh man, like that's something that I had never thought of, and the way that you're like promoting or pushing it to people to understand, like, hey, look, like we're still chill guys at the end of the day. It's not just like
You know who said it best?
What?
T.I.
What?
So I like music, so I'm gonna say, you know.
okay,
So T.I. he was doing an interview, and he was on the Breakfast Club,
okay,
and he was like, I'm a multifaceted person. I can go in and lead a lead a parade.
uh-huh,
You know, I can go, I can make a song,
mm-hmm.
I can take your girl, then I can go to church. He's like, I can do all of it. He's just me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, because he articulates very well,
Right.
but at the same time he raps, you know?
Right.
So they don't know, like, who are you? Are you
Right.
corporate? Are you hood? Are you, you know?
Right.
He's like, I can do everything. And I feel like a lot of times with anything, you know, I'm roofed by down, so you think, oh, you're just a roofer. Well,
Mm.
I'm not a roofer.
Right.
I build roofs.
right,
But I do
All
other
other
things.
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, you just say, hey, you run track, you're sports, you know.
Right.
I like music. I'm a dad, you know. Like
Right.
I do a lot of things. So roofing is something that I also learned how to do, so I can be the trusted advisor.
mm-hmm.
But you have other talents. So roofing is not supposed to kill your dreams. It's supposed to be a dream facilitator. It's supposed to help whatever else you want to do.
Yeah, like you know, I believe that the Renaissance man
Mm-hmm.
is something that's rarer and rarer nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I feel the same way because like I've coached athletes who competed in the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Obviously national
That's right.
champions and stuff like that.
For
Like,
real?
yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Like I've had some like
You see, I thought you were just a Mexican man.
Right.
You see,
right, but like
Yeah.
it's like when people like you look on my profile, it says Coach, right? It's the
Mhm.
name, right? Like when I was living in Oaxaca, everybody called me Coach. Even when I with restaurants and stuff, everybody called me Coach.
Mhm.
The reason I didn't like going by Jonathan is because only time I heard the word my name Jonathan was either I was in trouble by my mom, right,
Mhm.
or like I was working, right, and I was just like I didn't want to feel at work when I was doing things that I enjoyed. So it was like when I was coaching, it was Coach McKinney. When I was playing sports, it was McKinney, or I'm gonna give a shout out Ty Atkins, the legendary 110 hurdler. He gave me the nickname Jerry.
Okay.
Right? My hair was curly.
Right.
Right. But like, so it was Jerry, right? So it was either Jerry or
Jerry
McKinney.
curls.
Right, exactly, right. So it was either Jerry or McKinney, and then like it was Coach or Coach McKinney. And then like when I first started hearing the word Jonathan, it was like, wow, I'm at work. Like, Jonathan, do this, Jonathan, do that. And I was like, man, I don't really I love my name. Obviously, it's a great name.
Yeah.
But like, it just kind of, at least when I was getting in this realm, it was associated with work. And then when I was doing restaurant stuff and I was consulting for restaurants or doing mezcal tastings, I was like, yo, I love hearing Coach because you know I am coaching you through this experience. I am coaching you to understand the nuances of agave, or
Yeah.
I'm coaching the staff on how to be a better team.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when I first did my first concept, Casi Cielo, like my first like fully involved concept, the employee handbook, when they signed on, the only position that we had was team member, right? It wasn't server, it wasn't barback, it wasn't
Team
buzzer, it
member.
wasn't bartender, it was team member. And in the list of their job duties listed all the things that a team member should be able to do. And just like with a team, like the quarterback has certain responsibilities for football, the linemen have certain responsibilities, but you all win as a team.
Correct.
And you know, Casi Cielo at the height when I was there, we were the number 2 bar and mezcal restaurant in US and Canada. So it's like that team mentality is kind of what we embodied, and then it really showed in our service and our hospitality standards. So like I like being coach, right? And I understand what you mean, like, but like I'm not just the mezcal man. I'm like you're not just the roofer, right?
Exactly.
There's other things you do, there's other experiences that you have about you that kind of like define this holistic thing that is done.
Yeah, and everything adds together. You know,
Mhm.
everything makes is like a one melting pot. So for instance, like yeah, I do roofing, but because I did music, I made roofing songs. You know, everything makes is like a one melting pot. So for instance, like yeah, I do roofing, but because I did music, I made roofing songs.
Right.
You know,
Right.
yeah, you know, I have the roof museum because obviously I'm creative, but I try to make it all under like the same brand, so that way they can all help each other.
Right.
And again, that's from looking at moguls like 50,
right.
Jay-Z, where they make music, but then they turn into a liquor, or they turn into a clothing brand, or they turn into movies.
Right.
They basically make it into something different. You know? And I feel like that's the main thing. Once you find out whatever you like, whether it's roofing, mezcal, whatever it is like getting into that, being a trusted advisor, then seeing how you can get 7 other sources of income
Right.
with the same thing though. So you're not really going too far off.
Right.
You know, but you're using your brand and what you originally started with. I think that's kind of cool.
So I just recently got back from London, and I want to know: have you ever been overseas?
I haven't. Yes, but not London.
Okay, where have you been?
Well, overseas. Okay. I've been overseas. I've been Jamaica.
Okay, have you been back?
That's not overseas. That's not overseas. That's like
a hop over a 2-hour drive.
Exactly. It's like right there. So
Okay.
Jamaica.
Outside of Jamaica, anywhere else?
It's in the United States, but Alaska.
It's
kinda
how
weird.
was that?
That was actually real
What
cool.
made you want to go to Alaska?
Went on a cruise. It's different.
Mhm.
This is different. It went on a cruise. So it started like in Washington, like Seattle, and then from Seattle it went to Alaska.
Okay.
That was actually real cool. It was like a 7-day like cruise kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so you went to like the icebergs, saw like
Uh-huh.
whales and all
Uh-huh.
that. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, like I mean, I commend you for that, because like when I choose my trips, I usually try to choose stuff that people wouldn't normally go.
Yeah. Me too.
Right, because it's like for when Obama was still president,
Yeah.
I was able to go to Cuba, and all my friends were like, "Why are you going to Cuba? Like Cuba's a communist country, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
I had an amazing time in Cuba, right? Seeing the culture. Everybody called me Tio or Primo the entire time. So I was like, "Oh, I'm
Uncle?
the cousin."
Yeah,
right?
uncle.
And like I'm like, this is like 2014. So I was
He's all
young,
family.
but it's like, yeah. Oh, and one thing about Cuba, right? They give you 2 different prices. You got an American price and you got the Cuban price. And the entire time I
You
got
gave the Cuban price?
so the first thing that happened to me when I landed in Cuba, I was waiting for some friends who had their flight delayed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm waiting in the airport and I'm like, damn, what's taking so long? What's taking so long? You know, so I'm like, I thought it was gonna be an hour, but it ended up being more than that. So I go up, they had like a little sandwich shop and an ice cream shop right on the top of the terminal. It's a little small airport in Havana. And so I go up there and I'm like, okay, let me just get a sandwich, let me get some ice cream, just to snack on, right?
Yeah.
The guy makes me my food, right? Gives me an ice cream sandwich, gives me a water. And I was like, all right, how much I owe you? And he goes, I was like, really? He's like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm good.
Hey,
Let
on
me
the
get it.
house?
On the house.
Like a roof.
Right. So he was just, I was like, dang, like, this is how they treat you, right? Like,
What's up?
they, like, my buddies who came,
Mm-hmm.
they noticed how they treated me differently the entire time. Like, at the time, my Spanish was very minimal.
Yeah.
But, like, they treated me like I was family. Like, people would walk up to me on the street and just start chit-chatting with me and be like, oh, I thought you were my cousin, blah, blah, blah.
For real?
And I'm like, oh, right? Like,
Why? Does Cubans live like us?
I mean, yeah, like the
Okay,
mulattoes, right?
Okay.
So it's like the brown, like, I mean, light skin tone, right? The Afro Caribbean
Yeah.
style people.
Mm-hmm.
But they would just talk to me like it was like normal, like, oh, blah, 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 where I go, or they, like, anytime I bought something, it was always Cuban prices. And my American friends were just like, dang, man, this messed up. Like, you get free stuff, like, they helping you out. Like, you go talk to them, John. You go. Even
That's
like
cool.
we had a Cuban cigar. First time I ever had a cigar, right?
Yeah.
So we had a Cuban cigar, and we all went to this nice restaurant. And the way that they toasted and lit and cut my cigar, they did significantly more time on mine than they did.
But everybody else is. Like, hold on, he's gonna know the difference.
Right.
Let's make sure it's authentic.
They lit the sandalwood, they toasted it in front of me, and my buddy was like, "Dang man, why you a celebrity?"
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah, but it was fun, right? I really had a good time.
Alright, so I'm putting Cuba on my bucket
Yeah,
list.
like it was like you said with going to Alaska. Like I want to do trips that my friends aren't normally gonna do.
Yeah, they're like, you went there?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the usual suspects is like Colombia,
Right.
Dominican Republic, you know.
Cancun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right,
Yeah,
like-
100%. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
the only time I've been to Cancun was a fly into Cancun, right?
Mhm.
Like we did Tulum, obviously I've did Puerto Vallarta and Puerto Escondido, right?
Okay.
I like to do the cool trips that people are like, why are you going there? Like, how did you know?
Yeah, that
about
sounds official. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So.
But like that, those are the things just like I think make life,
Mhm.
right? The untucked gems that people don't think about, right?
Facts.
Even like the fact that like when I've been to Budapest, but I've been to Sassalambata, I've been to Sopron, right? Or when I lived in Nice, I lived in Nice in 2012, right? Like living in Nice it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
The weather is like 75 to 77 basically the entire time.
Always.
It's amazing. It was best weather, best people, best women, best food. Like it was
Yeah.
just great, right?
Good. So sad.
Yeah. Definitely.
Is that an Atlanta thing? Man, after you toast.
Tap the glass.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it in other places, right?
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to cheers in certain cultures, I've noticed it's different.
It goes,
right?
yeah, across the board.
Like my father-in-law, bro, he'll get me drunk. Like he's a beer drinker, but like
Beer.
when I'm in Hungary, they drink this thing called palinka, right?
Mhm.
Palinka's like a fruit spirit, like almost like a fruit moonshine.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a lot of fruit grow in Hungary, so like you can pick all your fruit and you can ship it off to a guy who makes palinka. He'll take all your fruit, make palinka, and send you back the bottles, right?
Okay.
It's like moonshine, really.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it gets you toasty. Like I'm like, dang, this is like plum spirit or pear, apricot, peach, and I'm like, oh my goodness, y'all. And they're just like, oh, palinka, short, bort, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, and you know, you're with family, so it's like you can't really say no.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, I'm like, oh, I need some water.
That's what's up. They're like immune, right?
They're just taking it down like,
Like
it's nothing,
nothing.
right? I'm like, oh man, like this, and it's not like this. It's not like 40%. It's the higher proof alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Like the stuff that you can get in the airport usually is like dialed down to like 20. Oh, all right. This story right here will have you dying laughing. So I came back to Hungary and I bought a bottle of peach palinka.
Yeah.
And it was only like 25% ABV, so low proof.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving. I'm at my grandma's house. This is actually the last Thanksgiving I had with my grandmother.
Okay.
And my aunt was like, "Oh, what is this palinka?" Like, sure. I was like, "Oh yeah, just have some." She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna add some Sprite to it, right?"
Mm-hmm.
She filled her cup up like this much of palinka.
Yeah.
Added Sprite. 20 minutes later, my aunt, I love my aunt, but she's probably the sourpuss of the family.
Gotcha. Okay.
She was like hugging people. Oh, Jonathan, I love you so much.
Oh, she's extra touchy now and everything. The palinka.
What's wrong with you? Next thing I know, she was like, "Oh, drinking that palinka stuff. It was so good." And I'm like, my mom looked at me. She was like, "Don't you ever bring any alcohol to the party again." It was such a funny experience. She was just like so happy and just loving and hugging on
So she
everybody.
needed it, really.
Really, yeah. But it was just like I knew something was up with her because I was like, "Why are you so touchy feely?" Like, but it was, but like, yeah, that palinka, man. Like, I mean, I haven't seen palinka in the U.S.
Mhm.
yet. I mean, maybe one day somebody will distribute it. But I was just like so surprised at how toasty she got.
So, palinka, because that's the first time I'm hearing it. Is that like is that vodka, tequila, mezcal, palinka?
Well, no, it's just like a fruit. It's basically like moonshine, really. Like it's like you
Okay.
take the fruit, you macerate it, and then you like distill it, so it has like plum spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it wouldn't be like a vodka, but like it could sometimes be like 45-50%, right? And so it's strong
Mm-hmm.
and it's flavorful. Like, and I think that's where the deception is. Like, my aunt added peach with Sprite,
Yeah.
and so like. She's drinking it. It's just like a peach Sprite.
Peach Sprite,
but
yeah.
It's
getting-
alcohol, right?
It's creeping up on you.
Yeah, so it's just like I mean I like it. It can, some of it can be kind of really strong. Right?
Mhm.
Some of it I'm not too much of a fan of, just because like how intense the alcohol flavor can be.
Mhm.
I mean, you still get like the peach notes or the apricot notes or like the plum notes that are in there, but it can be pretty intense. Yeah, but I like it though.
Question. All right, so this is for the roofers. You know, roofers gotta eat.
Mhm.
Also, we gotta drink, right?
Right.
So, what do we pair mezcal with? What kind of foods?
So I would say anything that you like has like a lot of fat. So burgers, steaks, pork. You know, I wouldn't probably have a salad with mezcal, to be honest with you, because I don't think that'd be a good balance.
Don't sound that healthy.
Yeah. Any like savory foods, right? Like for example, like skirt steak, right? Or there's this one little chicken spot right in Mataman. They do like chicken around the grill right in front of you. It's so good. But like some barbecue chicken with some mezcal. Oh,
got
off
you.
the chain.
So take mezcal to the cookout.
Yeah, take mezcal.
got you.
Right, because like for people who are new to mezcal, at first you're gonna get the smoke. Like that's always gonna be the flavor you're gonna identify initially with.
Yeah.
But after you get past like that smoky aspect, right? After a couple sips, after you keep going, the smoke kind of leaves you, and then like the flavor kind of comes out. And so like imagine if we're having this, right? Like you see how we're continuing to drink it.
Yeah.
You don't taste the smoke anymore.
Not really.
Right? Just like really in the initial part.
Yeah.
And so like as you continue to drink, as you continue to enjoy, you really find that you really love mezcal. Because it's like, oh wow, I like this upper feeling, right? It makes me feel nice, and I don't really taste the smoke anymore.
Yeah,
and
it's like a good aftertaste.
Yeah, so like that's the thing I like about it, right? Oh yeah.
Alright, so you pair with, you say fatty foods, steaks, things like that, and then you say fatty foods, steaks, things like that, and then when is the not even, I'll say the best time. People drink whatever, right? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? That's what they say. So aside from that, what's the chasers?
Chasers?
Yeah.
So they do this thing called verdita, right? Or sangrita. It's like this you know when have you ever had ceviche?
Yeah.
So you know the juice that's in the bottom of the ceviche is usually like cucumber, jalapeno. It has like a spice to it, right? So verdita there's this bar in Mexico where they took the juice from the ceviche and they poured it into a little shot glass. And you used it to chase your drink, mezcal or tequila with, right?
Yeah.
And so sangrita is basically orange juice and chili powder, right? And so when it comes to like chasers, usually I try to stay closer to like citrus forward drinks, right? Mango, orange, stuff that's tropical. Pineapple juice does really well. I would stay away from another acid like lemon and lime. I mean, yeah, you can have a mezcal margarita with lime. I mean, and add agave, but like I like it with like orange juice and stuff, or maracuya, which is passion fruit, right?
Gotcha.
Because you want to have those tropical notes because they balance well with like some of the sweet characteristics you're gonna get in the mezcal, versus just like I'm gonna take an acid, I'm gonna add acid. Now I just have an intenser acid flavor profile, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, so like normally mezcals you have an oranges to slice or like a piece of mango. Some of the things that I do, especially like during the cookout or during the summertime, I'll like cut a whole bunch of mango pieces and add some like tahini or some spicy chili powder on it.
Yep.
And then I'll just like snack on the mango and then drinking the mezcal. So because like the sweetness of the mango balances out some of the mezcal flavors. Yeah.
So before we were on video, we were talking about your trip to London.
Right.
And you're gonna tell me about the bar snacks?
Uh-huh.
Tell me about the bar snacks real quick.
Okay. So this is one thing that I don't see in the US or Atlanta enough is bar snacks. Right? So if you have something that's salty, it actually makes you drink more. And so what I noticed every time I sat down at one of these top bars that I was visiting, they had like either nuts, they had pretzels, they had like pistachios, they had with garlic on them, and so they had something for you to like get your palate started before you had your drinks.
And they're smart too because, like you said, when it's salty, it makes you want to drink more, right?
Yeah.
So psychologically, they're getting you. They're like, hey, it's free.
Right,
You're buying more.
It's a little small dish, right? And you know what is 5 to 10 olives in food costs when it gives you an extra drink?
Exactly. So now going to that. Sorry, but going to that. You were just mentioning as far as putting tahini on
the mango, right?
Yeah. So would that be like a bar snack?
Yeah, like
there you go.
So when you see the mango with the
there you go.
Snack, then,
Mezcal Man.
Right here.
You get the Mezcal Man bar snacks. You already know what it is.
Right. So yeah, like
it's coming soon.
That's something I definitely want to integrate in the bars that we're doing right now. I've been to almost 10, 50 best bars currently, right? Actually, maybe 12. Yeah, 12, 50 best bars currently.
Okay. And that's all over the world.
Yeah, all over the world. Like I've been obviously DC. I've been to New York. I've done Mexico and Oaxaca. I've done Mexico City. obviously I've been to Budapest, I've been to France, I've been to London. So like I've seen a bunch of different bars. I need to go to some of the ones in Asia to see what they're doing there. But like some of the things I'm starting to notice that are in common, obviously service, the bar snacks I've noticed a lot, and a lot of the places I've noticed bar snacks, and also just like the efficiency and the hospitality, right? And the hospitality, like the people actually feel like they love working there, right? Some bars and restaurants, they love the money, they don't love working.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like I feel like the people who work there, they would enjoy working there even if the money wasn't as good.
Yeah, they'll still be there.
Right, they'd still be there.
Yeah.
And I think because they love that, they make extra money. You know, like,
That makes sense. That
Right.
does make sense because you're not chasing the money. When you're chasing the money runs from you.
right, exactly. and quickly too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then it's just like, I mean, there's a problem in hospitality in Atlanta where it's like there's so many bars and restaurants that like people are just like, oh, I'm not making enough money here, I'm just gonna opt to another place. And they're constantly hopping around to all these different bars and restaurants, and they're never satisfied or happy. Versus being like, okay, I want to be in a program where I'm going to enjoy and learn and grow. You know, like for example, we did a tasting yesterday, and we did a Montestrell wine and gin from France. And the gin had like very citrus notes, and it was finished off with mescadine grapes, right? So the gin was very pleasant. The staff, when they drank the gin, they were like, "Oh wow, this is really nice. Like I really don't like gin, but like this I could drink."
That's how I
Right?
feel about this.
Right? Yeah. Like, would you like some more? Let's do it.
Let's do
and
it.
like, and then the wine, the Montestrell. I mean, obviously it's a Spanish wine, but it's one of my favorites. And it's like the staff had never had it before, and I was just like, "Yo, like." You know, not everything is Cabernet Sauvignon, not everything is Pinot Noir. You know, some of these other varietals that are out there are really good. It's just like opening your
You
palate.
gotta try them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, but my staff, like afterwards, like the training is not mandatory, but they all show up. And I'm just like, this shows that they enjoy the job
Correct.
more than they enjoy the money. Because if it was only about the money to come to a non-mandatory staff training,
I'm not gonna go.
right, why am I gonna go? I got other things to do. It's 4:00 in the afternoon where I'm gonna go to rush hour traffic to get to the Beltline.
Yep.
Right? Versus, no, I'm gonna go sit in and see what the training's gonna be about today and taste something. Like we've done rum tastings. Obviously, we've done a vodka tasting one time. We just did the wine. We'll probably have multiple different wine tastings as well. Like we're gonna do a rosé coming up and some other stuff. But I want my staff to feel like they're getting a value from the job, not just cash.
Makes sense.
You know,
No, 100% makes sense.
It's not worth it if it's just cash.
100%. You gotta be about that. You gotta be about something more. And everybody wants something more. Like nowadays too. You know, it's not like you said. It's not about just the cash.
Well,
it's about money, but then
Right.
you gotta be something more.
But the
too.
money comes with passion,
Correct.
right? Like if you're passionate about what you do, the money's gonna follow, right? It just is.
I feel like the reason why it's like that too is because you pay more attention to detail. So you're gonna do things people don't want to do,
Right.
and then they might get bored or tired, you know. But if you really want to do something, you're just gonna keep doing it. But like you get tired, like I don't want to do this.
Right.
Then it's not there anymore. You know, you're gonna stop at a certain point.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. And then I think that's the difference between good restaurants and great restaurants. Good restaurants, like you have the staff who they're gonna do it because it's their job.
Yeah.
But great restaurants are gonna do it because they appreciate what they do.
That's everything. That's roofers. That's
Yeah,
literally
look at what you're
everything.
doing here with the roof gallery, right?
Correct.
Like you got a roof museum. You
Who's
got all
gonna have
these
a roof
things
museum? They want to like, let me just get my money. Let me build my roof. Give me my money. I'm out of here.
Right, even like
Like,
you have
that's
these
it.
people on podcasts and you get to interview them and know their stories. Like
Correct.
those are things that like transcend what you're doing.
Correct.
And it
correct.
allows like people to really understand like the love for the industry.
Yeah. And I think it really helps when, just like you said, because you love it. So when you're doing the beginning stages of it, even say at first it doesn't make money at first, you know, you're like, yeah, I don't care, I'm doing this, and then eventually it starts making money, you know, because people see it, they see the passion. But if you're like just go in it just for the money, it's hard to even start.
Right.
You're like, where's the money at?
Right.
You know? Yeah, like, no, we're doing this because I like to do this. It's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, and I know we're coming up on the hour right now.
Yes.
I've really enjoyed the conversation with you. Just to let y'all know what do we got going on here. Hold on. Live will end. Listen, just to know what we got going on here. Hold on. Live will end. Listen, just to know why we got an inactivity. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you get it.
Activity. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you get it.
See, you know, okay, there you go.
There we go.
Just
I think
let
mine
you-
died.
It's okay. But I mean, just to let y'all know, this is the Last Sip Society. We're gonna be here every Thursday, going live on TikTok.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Don Alma. I really appreciate it. It was a great
Yo,
conversation.
I really appreciate you. Y'all already know y'all in tune with the Mezcal Man, Roofs by Don. Just look up Roofs. Hopefully I'll pop up quick, Roofs by Don or the Roof Gallery. And let all you kids know that Roofs by Don made them raise the roof.
That's right. Raise the roof. Raise the roof.
And make sure to check out the new drink that we're gonna be making soon. It's gonna be the
Espresso Martini.
The Espresso Martini, the Mezcal Espresso Martini. So I don't know if y'all heard that yet, but it's gonna be called On the House. And y'all gonna check it at the roofmuseum.org for the recipe, straight from the Mezcal Man.
Perfect, perfect. Hey, thank you so much. Dish Bay.
Hey, Dish Bay.
This live right here.